This week on the podcast, me and Ben dove into two banger albums, I'd say. I think they scored quite high from us. I gave Ben Against Me. I'm going to struggle to say both the album titles here, Ben, by the way, for the intro. Against Me, Transgender Dysphoria Blues. And Ben recommended to me, Ben, how do you say it?
Algernon Cadwallader, I'm going to say. Some kind of Cadwallader
is the name of the album, because there's zero chance, and I think about 15 times I said it wrong on the podcast. But yeah, we reviewed those two, and then we got a bit wild, and I gave Ben two albums from one band that he's going to be bringing next week to the podcast. So enjoy. We've started doing this thing where we just say each other's name as the start of the podcast, and it always I've only ever listened to it back a couple of times, just waiting for Ben.
Yeah. I never know when we started for some reason, even though you normally say it. Because it's just so cash. Last week I finger gunned. But I don't think we should make that a thing.
No, I think it's a strong look. Yeah, maybe too strong for us. Yeah.
I think I always forget if who says what the album is, whether it's the giver or the givee. Every week I forget.
I'm going to ask you what you listen to, and you're going to say what it is.
Okay, let's settle on that now.
Yeah. That's
finger gun on it.
Oh, I'm going with that. You can go with that.
Yeah, yours is more aggressive. Mine's just like a celebratory.
No, mine's accurate.
No, I want to shoot you.
On that.
Hello.
Ben.
Yes.
What did you listen to this week?
I listened to the Against Me album, Transgender Dysphoria Blues. I knew I'd say that word wrong.
So, dysmorphia
and dysmorphia.
Yeah, I want to say dysmorphia.
Yeah, same. Mm-hmm. But we're quite thick. Let's face it.
That's it. That's why I don't know what it says.
I listened to.
Yeah.
Which came out in 2014, which sort of blew my mind a bit.
Is that 10 years old?
Yeah. How mad is that?
Well, she's not actually been doing anything with Against Me for probably about 5 years.
No, well, I've looked all into it, so I can tell you.
Oh, have you interneted it?
They went on hiatus in 2020.
Okay, yes.
It was mainly because of COVID. Like, I think it just fucked them financially, and
they were touring a lot as well.
Yeah,
they were a band. She's still like out constantly, on tour as well. It seemed pretty.
Sounded like they were maybe not in like a bad place, but there was sort of a bit on the wiki where it said they all came together at her wedding, like this year or last year, and it was lovely, and they're definitely going to do something again. But it sort of sounded like maybe they just had enough of each other, or you get in those moments, don't you? They didn't have a big falling out or anything, but it sounds like they're definitely up for doing something. So
and it happens when you tour a lot.
Yeah, exactly.
Just how much of one person can you tolerate?
Oh, God, it'd be brutal, wouldn't it? I've done
That's why we only do this once a week.
Yeah. Even then. Well, you moved away. Brutal. I mean, Against Me, this is obviously a band I knew and really like. Like, I was really into, oh my God, my mind. What was the big album?
Well, they've had a couple.
I always say the big one because it's the one I know.
This was really big and really like critically acclaimed.
Yeah.
And then White Crosses was like quite big, as in like it had, I'd say, more traditional like hits. That was a bit more.
And I don't mean either
of a rock album. And then you had New Wave. Was it New Wave?
That's what I'm thinking of.
That's the one that I've got the tattoo of on the back of my arm. The like panther.
That sort of felt a bit crossover-y to me. New Wave.
Yeah.
Whereas, like, I think I'd heard of them just because they were always on the punk scene, but it felt like they got a bit bigger. I don't know.
Yeah,
Maybe I've imagined it, but
that was the album that kind of kicked them a bit more into mainstream.
Yeah.
Did you say mainstream punk? But do you know what I mean? A bit more less underground and like a bit more well known.
Exactly.
On I don't know, festival lineups and stuff like that. Yeah.
Yeah, but just in typical me style, like loved that album and then just did not
follow
keep
through
up with them in any way for some reason. And I remember this album coming out because obviously it was quite like an important album, I think, and obviously the news around it. So it was all really positive. But I just never even listened to this. I think I sort of recognised a few songs. So I must have given it a spin
or something.
Give it a listen back in the day. But yeah, had never really gone in on it. But they're always a band I've just had a lot of time for, but didn't really know much about.
Yeah.
Formed in '97 in Naples. Not that one. because that'd
The
be
other one.
weird. That'd be news, wouldn't it? They're Italian. Maradona's favourite band. It's mad. But I think
I
that's why
wonder
the
who Maradona's
2014.
favourite band is.
She hasn't got an
Cocaine,
accent at
the
all.
band.
But that's probably why the 2014 thing blew my mind, because I haven't really kept
Yeah.
up with them. This is like their new album, as far as I'm concerned. I think they've had like 2 since, but just because I haven't kept up with them at all, I was like, well, this is new. This is new news, guys. But no, yeah, it's the 10-year anniversary, which is bonkers.
Mental.
I would have said New Wave was 10 years old,
Yeah.
which is pretty mental. I also didn't know Atom Willard was in them.
Oh, mate, they had, when you said about they all got back together, I was like, oh, it was a different drummer for a bit after that. I'm not sure if it was Atom at the wedding or not or whatever.
Yeah.
But again, one of my favourite drummers of all time, and mainly because he's been in like 6 of my favourite bands of all time.
I think we discussed him every week because he's been in every band.
We
we've talked
reference
about.
Atom Willard,
Yeah.
Newfound Glory, Every Time I Die. This is why we did this podcast, because me and Ben have the same points of reference for
it's those
fucking
3.
everything. Newfound Glory if it's pop punk, Atom Willard
Yeah.
is some sort of punk drummer, but he is a bit of a beast.
Oh my god.
But yeah, no, I'm not sure if it was him at the end.
They had
might have
Jay
been on this,
Weinberg as well, who's amazing. Slipknot's drummer, randomly.
No, not anymore.
No, but has been, yeah.
But
And
he
Springsteen's drummer.
sounds
What a career he's had.
Bruce Springsteen's son's drummer, but he did play for Bruce Springsteen for a bit. Yeah. He's one of them where like every band he joins, he ends up getting kicked out.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and Laura said she said something to the effect of like, if you've got nothing nice to say about someone, don't say anything at all. Kind of like that kind of thing about him. And Slipknot basically just posted saying he's not in the band anymore.
Really?
And he posted a bit of a thing like being a bit angry about it or whatever. But I was like, he must be a big personality. Let's put it like that.
Yeah, you got to start looking at yourself at some. Look inward.
Yeah,
I would say.
I think so. Yeah.
Let's do some self-reflection, shall we?
Kicked out of 2 huge bands, technically.
Yeah. It's weird he was in Slip. I mean, he's obviously amazing, but that's
apparently
such a specific.
they were his favourite band, and that was why he started.
This rings a bell, actually.
And so it was like his dream job, basically.
Yeah.
So I can get why if like you'd want to do that, like completely.
Oh yeah, it's just such a specific type of drumming. Like I can get why
Matey Boy left Sepultura as well to join Slipknot. Like it's going to join one of the biggest bands in the world. That, and he's a fucking absolute beast. He makes Jay Weinberg look like my nan playing drums. Like it is honestly ridiculous. That boy.
Yeah, it is more the style. Like I just couldn't fathom that he'd be able to do that. Really, if he's more
punk
from
rock and then
the background he's in. Mm-hmm. But I mean, fair play to the lad.
Anyway, we've digressed.
Yeah, I love Atom being there. But I mean, this album was always going to be a home run, I think, mate.
Oh, really?
There wasn't much threat in this one, was there?
No, I didn't feel like you were going to hate it.
Because I'm pretty sure, I love them. It's such a good album, though. It's really great. Like, it's obviously sort of thematic in terms of like when it came out and what she was sort of going through. But it's not like, I don't know, it's not, for a start, it's not downbeat about any of it at all.
No.
It's really a really positive, like, lovely, uplifting album.
And it's weird because it's talking about something that is completely like, I don't know what the right, like alien to me. Like I've no real understanding of it as like of what she was going through, but I still feel like I related to the album. Like I don't know how, that's really quite impressive. Like I was like, or not related. I could just relate to what she was saying she was going through. Like it was almost like well explained. I don't know
so
like the feelings and stuff. Yeah, like,
I think she always was.
Great storyteller.
New Way.
Yeah.
They're always really like literal. I think I've said before, I really like literal lyrics because when I used to be in bands, I found them really hard to write because I think they're much harder than just writing really like over egged like metaphors. About shit and pretending it's about something else.
Yeah.
Whereas if you're just writing a really literal thing and it still sounds good and doesn't sound cheesy.
Yeah,
I find that so impressive, and she does that so well, and just like lays everything out. I think there's a couple of songs about like a friend who's obviously died. I don't know if that is literal or not, but they're really heartbreaking as well. Like, just superb lyrically. I love it, and it's so nice to hear a punk out. You know, a lot of the punk we listen to, I think, is sort of like, what's the word? I love it all, but it's all a bit like fluffy and not really about anything, and maybe not particularly important, and that is fine.
Yeah.
It sounds really harsh, but that is fine. That's what all my bands have been. They're not like, we've never been railing against anything or singing for anything.
It's just about a moment or something that
we just
happened
like
or
punk
whatever.
and like being in a band. So it's so nice, you know. That's sort of what punk's meant to be. So it's really nice to hear an album that's
it's
like,
a bit more of a movement, isn't it? Like
genuinely important and genuinely moving. But also sort of just not like I don't know. Shove down your throat is the wrong term.
I know what you mean though. Like I was like, when I saw the title of the album, I was like, oh wow, this could be quite like divisive, I guess. Not divisive, but like could feel a bit like, oh, I can't relate to that. I can't relate to that because
it doesn't feel heavy, does it?
Yeah, no, but
it
doesn't
feel like
at
a
all.
heavy album at all.
And
there's nothing wrong with shoving this stuff down people's throats because it's important. But this one doesn't feel heavy. Do you know what I mean? It doesn't feel like it's like, oh god, chill out, Laura. It's like it's a really lovely, important listen, which is quite rare.
Yeah, no, it's so well balanced on that. Like, to your point, it could have been too much maybe for some people. Like,
just hearing like I think it's rare how often I actually hear punk like this, where it's like, oh, cool, like this stands for something and feels important.
Yeah.
Like, did you ever hear that band called Gloss? I would choose this, but I think there's a mini album and it's like 8 minutes long, so I feel like I'd be letting you off the hook.
It's not unheard of you to choose something that isn't an album or is way too long or whatever. But go on, explain.
But honestly, it's one of the most exciting. Like, I think they only released one mini album, and they're all like trans or non-binary. And it's so fucking like exciting and a bit scary, and they're so pissed off. It's like, oh fucking hell, yeah, you actually like believe in something and need to do this.
Yeah.
And that's so like different to my relationship to music in terms of doing music, like listening to music. I love to hear that, but as a milquetoast straight white man, I've just not been rallying against anything either. Anyway, like
I've not been raging against anything. Yeah.
So hearing that, I just fucking love it. So yeah, I mean, I won't choose it because it's too short, but check out the Gloss EP because it's scary.
Yeah, it's got it's got actual heart.
Yeah, exactly.
Not just like. I think some things are like I was angry about this at the time, which I think is probably a lot of bands, or I was sad about this right now at the time.
Yeah.
And there's a few bands you watch, and I feel like when they're singing the lyrics, they're back in the place and time, and like it comes across like, which I guess what emo kind of is and was, right? Like it was like dropping yourself back into that moment or whatever. But like there's a few bands where it actually like consistently feels like that, or like feels like important, and it's an important moment, and when they're singing about it, and it's still as important.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I haven't seen them live quite a few times. Like it always feels like that with them.
Oh yeah, I don't think you'd better fake this, would you?
No.
It's like we've always talked about the like, again, that we've done it as well, but like the singing about homework and teenage love. And
I hate my mum.
It's like, I hate my mum. All of that. It's like, come on, man. Like it doesn't mean anything.
Which that has always got to have come from Blink, All the Small Things, like the work sucks.
Yeah,
I know. It must come from that, where we've got that stupid analogy of like, I hate my mum and I won't do my homework.
It was just our friend who's not into pop punk used to always sing it, didn't he?
This is the funniest thing.
Made me do my homework. It was always, that's what he thought every pop punk song was. And he's not far
But
wrong.
they can be like the pop punk, but the bands that listen to Newfound Glory and went, we're going to do that again. Referencing Newfound Glory, felt like we had to.
When you get to 40, it's like,
yeah,
I don't know what you're meant to do. I mean, fair play. It's your song.
Keep doing it, but
crack on. So yeah, this was not that.
This has got something about it deep.
It's got some absolute. I mean, it's bangers galore, really.
It is.
Like I wrote down, Paralytic States is superb. Right near the end, it's got like that riff is so good, really fun. It's all quite like, I don't know them that well, like I said. So, but just it's all quite different. Not different. It's definitely like a move from new wave, I would say. There's like different layers because there's like is it Osama bin Laden as the crucified Christ? It's just like a big old riff fest.
It is. There are some big riffs,
proper sludgy.
Really,
I love it. And that is right in my wheelhouse, as you'll see from my choice today.
Oh god, it's an absolute sludge.
Yeah, and there's huge choruses like Drinking with the Jocks.
Yeah.
I'm sure I read around this time, and probably if Jay Weinberg was in the band, that Bruce Springsteen is a fan.
It wasn't in this album. This is Atom.
Yeah, I think, well, Jay, so this is all what I read today. So Jay, weirdly, they recorded this album with Jay Weinberg.
Right.
And then scrapped it all because they weren't happy with it at all.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and then went back in, and then the
Adam
bassist
comes
left.
in and bangs it.
Yeah, I don't think it was Jay they were unhappy with, to be fair. It was just, but I'm sure there was a bit of that. But then the bassist left, so they got Fat Mike in. So Adam Willard, it's like proper punk legends, this album. Adam and Fat Mike came in.
So when Jay came in, originally the first time, that was recording White Crosses, and they didn't have a bassist then.
Oh, really?
And they had, I can't remember, but the guy from Hot Water Music recorded bass on that
No way.
album.
That's mad.
Mate, they've had some great like stand-ins.
Yeah.
And then, isn't the bassist that's in there now was in Refused for a bit?
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Yeah, I can't remember his name,
That's
but
cool.
like, I swear he was playing for Refused for a bit.
Yeah.
So they've just got like, it's like, again, one of those bands where it's just like, oh, they just pick the best people.
Yeah,
Like, if the
yeah,
bassist,
exactly.
like, what's a bloke from Refused doing? Chuck him in. And where's the Alkaline Trio drummer? That'd do.
It just shows how respected they are as well.
Yeah, true.
Like,
Yeah,
on
how
the
they
punk
must
scene.
just be a nice group of people as well. For
100%.
just like,
If these people are
be
just willing
welcoming.
to step in, like, that's amazing. Yes, there's like big riffs, big chorus. I knew they always had big choruses. Like the choruses on New Wave are huge, but it's got a great opening track, which makes it go so far, doesn't it? But the title track is that proper like rolling drums as well. It's a proper like call to arms. We're in. This is happening.
Yeah.
Like not the biggest track, but just a sort of feels like an intro. It's perfect. I always wonder if they're like written like that because that song just feels so perfect as an intro. I can't even imagine writing it.
What if they wrote it as an intro
Yeah,
track?
if you're like, we
Because
need an intro.
yeah.
Just smash that out. The fact it's the title track as well. It's like, oh yeah, I wonder
Maybe.
if you've written this as like a thematic thing.
It sets up the album nice, I think.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
Oh,
it's
it's so-
somewhere
well, the whole
between
thing
all
is
of
so
the
perfect.
songs. Somewhere between like all of the songs in terms of sound as well.
Yeah.
It puts a good like stake in the ground of like this is kind of what the rest of the album's like, but
Yeah,
in different
definitely.
like different levels. Yeah, no, that's a good point actually. I didn't think of that.
Yeah, it would not surprise me. But yeah, big choruses galore. Like Dead Friends got a massive chorus.
Oh.
And it's obviously quite a moving song, but it's huge. Like still
I
again,
love
like,
that song.
uplifting, man. Such a good there's or she or they, I don't know how much they write together, but so good at just making something feel uplifting. And then you listen to the lyrics, it's like, I don't know if this is uplifting, but
Yeah.
you're smashing it. You're making me happy.
Two Coffins is
Yeah.
like
Like,
the
that's actually
saddest
beautiful,
song.
man. Yeah, that
it's
is
so
genuinely lovely.
pretty as well. It's not pretty. Like it's
No.
not like whatever the band you've given me today. I can't even. You're gonna have to say their name in a bit. Don't ruin it for now. But
Porn.
but they're pretty. But this is pretty. But like on paper shouldn't be like with the band. Like they're known for doing pretty stuff.
Yeah.
But this is like, and it's not pretty. It's still like a quite rough song.
Oh,
but
yeah.
like it's so good.
The
That song makes me
production
sad just thinking about it.
Yeah, I know.
It actually does.
Yeah. I think the production really helps with that, and probably similar to what I've chosen for you. I think it's the perfect level of like lo-fi is the wrong word. Just sort of
just like enough production.
Yeah,
that
it's not-
it's well recorded, but it sounds punk.
Yeah.
because I think that's what happened. White Crosses is really good. Like I think it's a really good album, but it's got much more. It's much more like. I don't know, it's poppy in terms of the
Right,
actual
yeah.
finished product. Like, is like the drums are a bit more poppy, whereas this has got so much attack.
yeah.
Like in the drums and the guitars and the bass, it sounds like they all played it live and they just recorded it like straight up, but then just mastered it really well.
Oh yeah.
Like it's got that live feeling about. I think that helps the album massively,
Yeah,
and that
definitely.
it doesn't sound too polished. And
Yeah,
some
nothing
bands can
sounds
do
big.
that, and others can't. Like
Yeah.
I think others would sound shit. Like if Blink did that, I don't think it would sound
Yeah,
as
it just
good because it
wouldn't work,
needs
would it?
polishing. But to get that poppiness through, but they managed to do the poppy, like and bring the pop. It's not poppy, but do you know what I mean? The catchiness and all of
Oh,
that
yeah.
through, without it needing to be too shiny.
Yeah,
I always
exactly.
describe it as shiny. I don't know the right word. I'm not. Mine and Ben's musical knowledge.
Oh my God.
In terms of actual things that happen,
Yeah, I don't know why we're
is
doing this, really.
minimal. Yeah, I know. We're the worst. This is just turn it off now.
Don't know anything about production.
If you have subscribed, please unsubscribe. But
We both got a Spotify account.
yeah, that's
That's it.
it. That's the levels. That's the level you're dealing with here. So yeah, all of our opinions are our own and completely invalid. But yeah,
Like and subscribe.
but yeah, I don't know what you call it. Polished, shiny, too much. Like
Yeah,
sometimes, and
I'm
it
totally
takes the
with you.
soul out of it. And I think this would have sucked the soul out of this
Yeah.
album if it was all really like
Even if it was produced like New Wave, I think I haven't listened to that for a while, but in my head that is more polished than this.
There's still a little bit more polished.
Yeah,
This is just
it
feels
works for
raw.
New Wave, like definitely.
Yeah.
But for this, it's a lot more like, just stripped back, I guess. Like it sort of doesn't feel like anything's in overdrive particularly. It's all like just quite like padded down, but still sounds really urgent and like punk and fun.
Yeah.
It's almost like you could play this all on acoustic guitars. I think.
I think sometimes that's what makes a great
album.
song.
Yeah.
Like I can't remember who said that. It might have even been someone that I don't like. Like, not I don't like. I appreciate like most musicians. Do you know what I mean? But I think it was like maybe it was Ed Sheeran or someone like that. Like someone I'm not a massive fan of.
Problematic.
No. But it was just like if it's a good song, you can play it on a guitar on its own, and it works as a song. It doesn't need all the other stuff around it. I think that's a good point on that. Like all of these songs would work just the guitar.
Yeah,
like, yeah, and
I don't know if that applies to all the music we like. To be fair,
yeah,
Pile are brilliant, but
it's going to be interesting acoustic. I'd like to hear it. I'd like to hear it. I think it's a challenge. It sounds fucking mental anyway.
God, I love them. I'm going to bring them up every week as well.
Yeah,
that's the new one.
So, go on. We're not doing song titles anymore. I think there's some quite apt ones on here.
Yeah, we talked about a few anyway. Fuck My Life 666 is really funny.
It's great. I love that.
Good. Obviously, Osama bin Laden is great.
I love saying "fuck my life" anyway. I just think it's such a great term. I think it was very of the time as well. I think it was one of the few like around that time that everyone started saying it, like the FML or whatever. But like, I really do like "fuck my life."
It is really funny when you really think about what you're saying. It's great. So good.
It's perfect.
Fuck my life. So fuck that. We won't bother. But the whole thing as a package, like I say, it just works as an album. But that's including like the title, the cover is so good.
Oh,
it's so perfect for what this album is and what it represents.
Yeah,
because it's like sort of like harsh and brutal, but it doesn't. I don't know. It doesn't make you bulk or anything. It's not gruesome. Like it's just like that's what it is. This is like this is what this album is.
Yeah,
it's so good. It's like a beautiful. I mean, if you described it, you'd never describe think it was beautiful, but it is quite a beautiful picture, I think.
I think so. I think it's so symbolic, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's brutal and like, but kind of the fact that it's black and white.
Yeah, I think that probably helps.
Yeah, like
bloody. No one would need that.
No, but
like, the title's so fucking cool. It's just great.
I'm looking at it now and I'm just like, yes.
Yeah,
I think that looks good. I feel like they did it, or like obviously it was like. It's it's to the theme of the album, right? But like also that looks good on a record when it's just like a white thing with the title and an image. Like as album covers go on like a record, like a big thing, that just looks solid. Like it's got space, like with like sometimes like you hear the term, I'm around design stuff a lot for work, but you hear the term like breathing room. Yeah. Is what people say. Things need room to breathe. And like that's just got like the perfect enough of everything on it. Yeah, is it? And it does feel very like on point for the album, I guess.
Oh, yeah. It's spot on. The whole thing's spot on.
Yeah, it is, isn't it?
I love it. So, Marks, what would this be for you? Might have done this the wrong way round, but I'm intrigued.
9.
Is it a 9er?
It's just... I think this and New Wave are both 9s from me. The album after this... sorry, I'm looking on my phone because I can never remember. We're so bad at album titles. Shapeshift with Me is really good as well.
Yeah.
White Crosses is really good.
I need to listen to more. I am going to listen to more.
Searching for a Form of Clarity, the album before New Wave.
Yes, I think I knew that one a bit
really
more.
Good. It's a bit more like rough and stuff, but like it's great. And yeah, after that, I'm like, again, I don't mind some of their older stuff, but it's probably just before I got into them. I think Searching for a Form of Clarity was the album I got into.
Yeah.
But Reinventing Axl Rose is a great album title.
I saw that. It's so good.
That's proper raw, but like is quite good actually.
Yeah.
Proper a bit more like folk punk kind of, I guess, but their roots, I think. But go on, I'm going 9 because I think it's one of my favourite bands of all time.
I'm going to go 8.
Nice.
A strong 8. I'll say it could definitely be a 9. I just need to live with it a bit more.
Yeah.
It's quite a new album to me. But yeah, I mean, I loved it. Spot on.
I think they're a band where genuinely I could, if someone said recommend an album, I'd just say any of them.
That's huge, isn't it?
Like any of their albums are above, and apart from like the first two albums where I'll admit I've not listened to enough, but like from searching for a former Clary all the way to the last album, I don't think I can score anything below an 8.
Yeah,
which is
big.
actually why they ended up as one of my favourite bands. I'm kind of similar with a couple of bands, but like a lot of them, sometimes it's biased because you just like the band and you want the album to be good, whereas all of these albums are just good. Like when I recommended this, I was like, he's going to like it.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
It was a banker.
Knock on.
It was a banker.
Loved it. Good shout.
And flipping the script. I mean, I know you're going to ask me who I listen to in a second, Ben.
Yeah.
I'm going to flip it because, Ben, what the fuck is the name of this band that you told me to listen to? Because someone said what you listen to, and I was like, Hegem, I don't know. I wanted to call them Aldernon, which is a Star Wars reference, and let me try and say it. Algernon Cadwallader?
Almost. Algernon Cadwallader.
Cadwallader.
Yeah.
Right, okay. And what is an Algernon Cadwallader?
So I only found this out today because I never knew.
Go on.
But they're named after the first mayor of the town they're from.
Oh, wow.
So Algernon Cadwallader is a name.
What a name.
I know. That's cool, isn't it?
Yeah, okay, I like it now.
Mm.
I didn't not like it, but I was just like, it's just the most, Algernon, what a name.
I know.
Do you think he's called Algie for short?
Yeah, I wonder if it's Algernon, actually. I always say Algernon.
Algernon?
Yeah, maybe it's Algernon.
Yeah, it might
Cadwallader.
be, actually.
I've never heard anyone play this band name out loud other than me, so
yeah,
they could be completely wrong.
Do you think they shout it out at the beginning of the gigs? Like, what's up? I wouldn't be able to say this. I wouldn't be able to say it. Every time, even if it was my band and I knew the name, I wouldn't be able to say it every single time. It's like Tiny Little Bike or whatever. Like, I'm never going to get it right.
I wonder if it frames them slightly differently as well. I don't know if you found this. I think for years I thought they were a bit more pretentious than they are.
Okay.
Because of the name, and I don't think they are at all. Really, they're just a really fun, moving math rock band. But actually, Algernon Cadwallader. People might be expecting some.
When you told me their name,
yeah,
I thought they were going to be heavy.
Oh, really?
I don't know why. I thought they were going to be like sludge.
Yeah, I could see that, to be fair.
Because it was just like, I don't know, it felt quite a harsh name. But now you said it's a guy's name.
Yeah.
A random mayor in some town or whatever. Like, that makes so much sense. And
a man called Algernon.
Yeah. But my first note was, what the fuck is that name? So I had to find out. Because then the album's called Some Kind of Cadwallader.
Yeah.
I'm probably still saying that wrong.
No, that was spot on.
Okay, cool. We will spell this or something in the description, so maybe I'll put a hyphen between every letter so if I know how to say it. They are like... They were like a scatty version of loads of bands that I like.
Yeah.
Is the best way to describe them for people that haven't gone and listened to them yet. Like, I know I recommended Transit to you the other day. Like, sometimes I feel like I recommend bands and then I'm like... oh, this band, like we did with RX Bandits. I'm like, oh, this band, like that band.
Oh, yeah.
Like, yeah, and you kind of, or American Football or whatever. Like, I was like, some of my favourite bands, like, yeah, like, I put Modern Baseball as well. Like,
yeah.
Definitely.
Especially these lads are proper godfathers.
They're a bit older, right, aren't they?
Yeah, so they've only
this was
got
like 2005.
Yeah, this came out 2008, but I think that sort of... revival, like that specific sounding revival,
that like Midwest emo-y,
emo. These guys are like the god daddies of that.
Yeah, it felt like it. It felt like it, definitely. Like, yeah. Again, it's not quite standards, but it's emo jazz for sure.
Oh yeah.
Probably still my favourite clip we've ended up with this. Like, what is emo jazz? But yeah, it's a bit. It is American Football-esque, definitely, but less pretty.
Yeah, definitely less
like American Football are just like beautiful.
Yeah, it's
like,
not much mapping about American Football, really. I don't think.
Nah,
I wouldn't say
they've got that like.
Oh yeah,
like, I don't know how you describe it, like finger tappy kind of guitar or whatever, like that noodly guitar kind of sound that. Like, like American Football, I think, for me, kind of started, and then people took it to like the jazz extreme with like what standards did.
Yeah.
But like to the jazz extreme with like that sound. And I love that sound. I did like the fact that they kind of sounded like scatty is the word, but like it was jazzy. It was like standards sounded tight, whereas these sound a bit sloppy.
Oh man, it's
and it is a bit splashy.
Yeah,
like
really...
even the drums are a bit like falling down the stairs. As someone once described Ringo Starr, it's one of my favourite quotes. But yeah, it is all a bit splashy and a bit scatty. Scatty's the right word, definitely like jazzy kind of like vibe to it. I did really enjoy it. Like first up, they definitely sometimes the guitars sound out of tune, even like where it's quite clashy, like as well. Like it took me 3 songs. I think I wrote down because I was like, I'm gonna forget. Yeah, it took me like 3 songs to warm to this.
Yeah.
At first 2 songs, Ben, I was like, not sure if this is another standards.
The first song is so good as well, but that is fair. That is fair
because it was just so. The recording didn't bother me, like actually on this one.
I think it's perfect for this, isn't it? That's
it's the right vibe for this, definitely.
But you're right, like the drum, the guitars are out. The vocals just sort of fade out occasionally and sound like he's just walking past the mic.
Yeah, it sounds like it.
Yeah. And I absolutely love it. It's so perfect for them. Like, I love it.
It does feel like they turned up at the studio, kind of threw their stuff down, and then he was singing, and then sometimes just kind of wandered off and then came back or whatever. 100%. I wrote down that when I was listening to this, that it sounds a little bit like there's a lot of random instruments pop up as well. Yeah, and even the recording thing, like I bet it sounds like they're in the music room at school, and there was just points where they were like, "What's this?" and like banging stuff.
That's so true.
And there's like I was trying to count at one point. I was like glockenspiel. Yeah. And then I was like cowbell, harmonica.
They've definitely got one of those things you blow in and like the keyboard. I don't know what it's called.
Someone's going to clip that on the internet, mate. You're going to end up with some weird Photoshop thing there. There was definitely a woodblock, bongos. But it's like every song had a random. That's what I meant. It sounded like you were at music at school and you're like, "What's this one do?" And like use that scrapey one that no one's ever used, like with a crocodile head on it.
They had an extra lad when I went to see him because they were obviously like,
just
we need a lad who can play
like
everything.
A box of tricks.
Yeah, it basically did. It was amazing.
Were they good live? Because this is what the other thing I wrote down is like, I really liked this.
Oh, they were so good, man.
I think I would have fallen in love with it live.
Yeah,
this kind of music.
Like I've always liked them. Always really liked them, but I only saw them for the first time last year. And since then I've been obsessed. That's why I like Horror from this album was at the top of my list this year.
I think
live, there's something about it. It's really anthemic. And it sort of sounds the same as it does on records, so you know, obviously. So you're getting that. But yeah, that's superb.
Anthemic's a good word. Like, I feel like every time there's a band like this, I usually like them on CD, but like on CD they're a 7 and live they're a 9.
Yeah. 100%.
Because I feel like there's so much feeling that comes with like this kind, especially the delivery, like singing when it's a bit shouty and a bit like kind of in a way, and that stuff all comes across better live, I think. And the twiddly stuff that sounds huge live sometimes sounds too twiddly on recording. Yeah, I don't know how you make that bigger. Like it should sound anthemic, but sometimes it doesn't. But when you're live and you kind of, I feel like sometimes that stuff like washes over you is the only way I can describe it, in a good way. When you're live, like it feels like you're surrounded by the music. Whereas, on record, sometimes it's just like this noodly guitar bit and it's a bit piercing, maybe is my thing with it sometimes. So I definitely think like Modern Baseball's one, like I really enjoyed the album, and then I saw them live and I was like, this is the best thing I've ever seen. American Football I loved automatically, like just because that record's like amazing, but then seeing them live was better. Yeah. Because I just like felt like it was like, again, like it's so uplifting. Uplifting's the right word. I feel like it really is like rising. Like sometimes this kind of music, and it really pulls you up. Yeah, I love it. It doesn't
it never relies on being like in tune or the best singers or any of that, or being tight. So I guess that does lend itself to live a bit. Like, and I think if anything, these guys have absolutely nailed it in terms of production.
Yeah, no, like, it sounds. I bet it sounds like live. Yeah, exactly.
But I do.
I do feel like I want, and I'm never going to get it, but I want more. I want it more immersive, I guess is probably the right way of describing it. Have you ever heard of that, like, spatial audio? I'll have to send you like the recording. You have to wear headphones. But
it's like 4DX. Someone just blows air at
basically,
you.
yeah. Like, there's a couple of really good albums. Like, there's a couple of Pink Floyd albums where they really soundstage the album, so you can hear. There's a really good song called Southampton Pier or Dock. I can't remember, Pink Floyd song. Go and check it out with good headphones on and turn it up really loud.
Yeah.
And there's like a load of soundscaping where there's like it sounds like a boat's coming past and seagulls and stuff like that. But it actually sounds like it goes behind you and round there. And there's a bit of music, like it's a bit of EDM that I got sent once, and it's like spatial. And like it sounds like it's, like in here IMAX where it's like you can go from a pin drop and then to like the plane, and the plane goes over and it feels like it's going over your head and like moves. There's a bit of music like that. And I always feel like I want this to do that because I want it to be like wrapped around a bit, like see if I can describe it, like really like surrounded by the music. That sounds really fucking, I don't know.
No, I get it.
I don't know what the word is.
Yeah,
but
with his vocals,
a bit much. But these bands really move me live, so I enjoyed the record. But like, I maybe just at times you said it was quite funny. You said a minute ago, I don't know if they were going to be a bit like, what was the word you used?
I can't remember.
Not stuck up, but like pretentious maybe or something. Like, yeah. And it was maybe at times a bit, it was like someone turned up, someone went do the most Midwest emo thing you can.
Yeah.
So it was a bit every now and again just for me. And like I said, if it was live, I probably would have been all over it.
Yeah.
But it was just a touch like too much Midwest twiddle is what I put.
Which is just my thing.
It is your thing. And I actually wrote down I like it, and I think if I saw them live, they'd be my favourite band.
Yeah. His voice is bloody. I love his voice, man. Like that's why I got obsessed with Horror. Like his voice in that is so gruff.
At Horror, I started really liking them.
Did you see why I got obsessed with that song?
Yeah, 100%.
Because it starts off quite like cheeky. It's like that, and by the end, I think it's like such a moving song. Like there's something about it.
It's quite progressive, I think.
Yeah, like his delivery is just like, oh shit, I've no idea what this song's about. You mentioned some horror films. I've never looked into it.
I couldn't tell you what any of these songs are about.
No.
That was one thing. I think that misses a little bit with me. Like maybe that was it, like part of it. Like there wasn't the lyrics didn't have any. Well, half of it I couldn't hear.
Yeah.
Like again, like that like kind of thing that he was doing a microphone. I feel like they were definitely in the school recording thing, just dancing around. But yeah, meant I like probably didn't catch quite a lot of the lyrics. So yeah, probably like that probably is part of the missing. I guess like sometimes you don't connect, I suppose, without like lyrics or whatever.
I don't give a shit about lyrics,
do,
mate.
Yeah, I know. You've shown me already with standards.
He mentioned Texas Horror the Texas Chainsaw Massacre in Horror, so I'm in.
Oh, sorted, done. But yeah, from Horror onwards, I really liked it. Like Motivation Song was actually my favourite.
Oh, that is a tune. Good.
I really like the shabab bit. Like there's like that weird like again going back to like it feels like in every song they tried to do something. Use this fucking glockenspiel and then let's do a little bit of like again like a round or whatever it's called when they do that shabab like kind of bit. Like I can't do it. And that I think Horror, Motivation Song, and Yo Soy Milk. Yeah. Again, song titles. We said we weren't going to talk about them again, but they are good song titles. I like Yo Soy Milk. I thought that was good. I think those ones are a bit more straight up in places as well. So I think I then got into it a bit more because it was a bit less jazzy. Yeah. And those 4, and there was like another 2 after, I was like, yeah, really like it. Went a bit twiddly again. And then the last song then, it's 13 minutes long.
It is. And it's proper beautiful.
It is, but I was like, oh, is it going to come back in and do another? No. Just keep barely anything happening.
Oh, it's so lovely. That's one of the few bits where it goes like, proper E, because it's not particularly E. It depends what you think emo is, but I don't think it's like, it's quite a cheeky album, I think, generally.
Midwest is like the original emo, isn't it?
So that's the one where it's like proper, heartfelt Midwest emo. Because there's some fun, like Katie's Conscious is one of my favourite songs, and that's just like proper bouncy riff, really fun, I think, that song.
Again, that was like Horror, Motivation Song, Katie's I think they're all in a row, aren't they? Yeah. And that was when I was like, oh yes, like I actually really, I do like this. I was like, I'm not sure if I'm 100% on this, or like I said, I felt like if I'd seen it live, I'd have been much more into it. But that was my take on it. I really enjoyed it though. I did enjoy it. I did like it. I think I'm not giving my actual rating because I want to hear yours first again. Because I think it's a good way of doing it actually. it's not going to influence mine. But like, I think if I saw them live, I would have been like, I love them, and I think
Yeah,
I would
I
have gone
get that.
back to the CD and been like, it's giving me flashbacks to the
Yeah.
live. So I think
So I think that is
sometimes
literally
need
what
that.
I did. So I totally get
Yeah,
that.
there you go. What would you give it? Go on.
It is a 9 for me, this album.
Is it?
I love
Wow.
it so much, yeah.
Oh, do you?
Especially, like I say, I've always liked it since whenever I got into them. I can't remember, years ago. But yeah, just seeing them live, for some reason, really hit it home, like the last year or so. I think I probably hadn't listened to them for a while before I went to see them, just one of those bands. But then, yeah, I've listened to them so much in the last year.
Are they a big band? Where did you see them?
No, we saw them at the garage, so that's pretty big, but I don't think it was sold out. Like,
Yeah.
I think they're very culty. Like, you know, emo kids love them, and band.
If you know, you know.
Yeah, they're very much a band's band as well. I think. Like, so yeah, not massive, but it was so good, man.
I can imagine they're good live.
Oh yeah. So yeah, it's definitely a 9 for me. I think this album is solid as well. Like, yes, just not a bad track.
No,
I think they're great, and Horror's one of my favourite songs of all time. I'll go that far. Obsessed.
Really? I thought it was good. I don't think it was like bad or anything, but like,
That's fine.
yeah. I'm not saying you're wrong. But
We're gonna have
no, I'm
different
joking.
ideas on stuff.
No, opinions are fact. There's no such thing. You're just
What
wrong.
do you give it?
Someone once said that to me, and then they were like, someone was like, "There's no such thing as bad music or whatever," and then someone was like, "Aqua, Barbie Girl," and then someone was like, "Someone's gonna like that," and he was like, "Yeah, but they're just wrong." And I was like, "You can't argue with that."
No.
And then I was like, "Oh, maybe it isn't opinion, and maybe there is just bad music." But
It's tough,
this isn't that. But Barbie Girl is a bad music. There you go.
I think that's a bad example because Barbie Girl is not without its charm.
Oh, I don't think it is. I would give this a. Oh, this is tough. With us not doing the halves.
Yeah.
And I think I'm going to carry on with it. You watch series 2 or however we do this. It's going to have halves or whatever.
Bear in mind, I didn't write it.
Okay.
I'm not going to be offended in any way.
I'll do what he did. 6 out of 10. 6. That feels harsh. I think I would have given that middle chunk of the album
Yeah.
a 7
Yeah.
because I really enjoyed it. But I think the first couple of songs and the last couple of songs lost me a little bit, or wasted on me. Maybe is a better way of putting it.
No, don't do that to yourself.
Ben, I'm a waste of space. It's fine. You got to accept who you are sometimes,
Yeah,
mate.
exactly. Oh, that's totally fair, man. I am. This is why we're here.
It is why we're here.
I can't wait till we get a 4. I just can't see it happening, but you never know.
No, I do think there's. I mean, it felt like you were close. The lost episode. Maybe we'll have to do that again, and you'll have to re-listen to the band. One of my favourite bands that you gave a. I can't remember what it was. We won't say the name of the band. We might have referenced it at some point, but you gave one of my favourite albums like a 5 or something. But
yeah.
and it should be a band that you really like, but you didn't. Maybe we redo that episode and we re-listen because I don't think I thought much of the one you gave me either.
No,
I
really.
think maybe we should both give them another spin.
Yeah, that's
the
a good
lost
idea.
episode. It was episode number 3 or something. But
Yeah. I can't remember
then.
what I gave you. You'll have to tell me afterwards.
What have you got for me this week?
Right. Have you ever heard of a band called Clutch?
Oh, fucking hell. I knew you were going to bring this one up at one point. I've heard that one song, the one that's like binary.
They're the best rock band on the planet.
Yeah, I know. You and one other person say this constantly.
Is he a legend as well?
It must be. I think I've obviously heard that. I don't know what that song is. It called 01?
It's called 100011.
1001.
Cool.
Yeah.
You probably heard
Course it
that
is.
because Jamie used to find it really funny. I
It's
don't find it funny. I
ridiculous.
think it's a great rock song.
It is a good song. So I think I'll enjoy this. I
I
think.
think it's meant to be funny, to be fair.
But what kind of music is this, Ben? What I've heard it described in a funny way before.
I think people would say stoner rock. I don't know if that's fair.
cool.
It's more just like rock and roll, blues rock.
Okay.
Basically, I like
fine.
Midwest emo and rock and roll.
Rock and roll.
I don't think they're always the most
but
obvious
not
bedfellow.
Guns N' Roses. You mean?
I mean
like,
Clutch.
hardcore rock and roll.
Yeah, I mean Every Time I Die, which people always call a metalcore band, which is a rock and roll band.
they're not metalcore.
Don't be silly. Rock and roll.
That really takes the piss. It really doesn't describe them in the best way. Like,
No, I don't think so. I don't know. Sorry, I'm trying to think which
more
Clutch
metal
album to
than
give
anything.
you.
Give me that one with that one
I'll
on.
give you that because that is probably my favourite album. Yeah, I'll
I
give you
love that
one.
I said, give me that one with that one on that has that one in it.
There's
Yeah,
another one
that
where I
one.
could just name any album really, but yeah, I'll give you that. So it's Robot Hive
Robot Hive.
/
Okay.
Exodus by Clutch.
Like I said, I've heard one song, but I've not heard that much of it.
Yeah,
So let's do it.
absolute
And then-
slappers galore.
This is a one that I know you've probably. I think you've listened to another album of theirs, but probably not this one, and I actually prefer this one.
Okay.
And this is a band that I hated
Oh,
by albums,
Yeah.
like as it goes. Hated, loved, and now hate again.
oh, see if I can work it out.
Go on, see if you can figure out who this band is.
Bring Me the Horizon.
Correct.
Oh, that was good.
It was. But they were shit at the beginning.
Right.
And then, to me, they brought this album out, and I was just like, fucking hell, they're amazing.
Yeah.
And loved it. And it's not Sempiternal, because I know you've probably heard that. Have you
I don't
not?
think I have. I'm gonna have to push past a lot of.
What, the one with Shadow Moses on?
No, I don't like this.
Genuinely in shock. This is nearly like, what? This is like Paramore all over again. I'm changing it up.
Okay.
You're getting Sempiternal.
Okay.
In fact, Ben, what I'm going to do, just to fuck shit up, you've got 2 albums to listen to.
It's 2 albums. Actually,
Yeah.
Clutch is pretty long.
It's Christmas.
Is that what it's called?
This is my
Bring Me
Christmas.
the
band.
Horizon. It's Christmas.
It's Christmas time. It's called Last Christmas, and it's spelled WHAM. Bring Me the Horizon, Sempiternal, and I want you
Yeah.
to listen to the album before it, which is called Suicide Season,
Oh.
which is
Horrible
2
title.
albums before, I think. 2 albums before, actually.
Okay.
Maybe
yeah,
if
I'm
I
gonna
get
have to
my...
push through some deep-seated distrust of this band.
I think you should listen to... what order should you do this? I think you should go... There is
Does it
Suicide
matter?
Season. I think, yeah, it does. I think you're going to like Sempiternal.
Okay. I will
Do
go
Sempiternal
with a
first.
clear mind.
Sempiternal first, then Suicide Season,
Okay.
because I think Sempiternal will allow you to like Suicide Season
Okay.
and appreciate it. I hated them, Ben,
Yeah.
with a fucking passion.
Yes.
And then I heard this album and I was like, fuck, that's a really good album. Good breakdowns, good riffs. And yeah, that Suicide Season's just a bit more experimental in places. It's
Okay. I'm
quite
scared.
fun in places.
I'm scared
gonna
that it's
like
not one of your
Sempiternal.
all-timers, so...
It's not
fine.
one of my all timers. It's just a fucking great album.
Okay.
I'd describe Sempiternal as the best way to describe it is like, like Duality by Slipknot is just
Yeah.
like a banger of a song. That's this album.
All of it.
Yeah, just it's that on repeat. I'm not gonna no dead serious. It's that on repeat.
Oh, well, I hope they gave him some money.
It's a covers
Seems weird,
album.
but-
It's a massive
Okay.
covers album. That's why Wham! Last Christmas is on it as well.
Just those 2. Right, I will.
Brilliant.
I will be totally
You'll
honest.
struggle on.
Yes.
I think you're going to have to remove the name of the band.
Yeah, I might.
like
That's a
said,
good idea, actually.
That's what I think. I heard one song off that album and I was just like, who the fuck's this? And someone was
Yeah.
like, Bring Me the Horizon. And I was like, I can't like this, I don't think. But then I was like, about an hour later, I was like, put that song on again.
Yeah.
Like, it's good. Like, so yeah.
I'll get my Clutch vinyl and take it out of the sheet.
Yeah.
Put it on the record player, but then I'll put it on mute and then press play on Sempiternal on Spotify.
Nice.
So just be like, I love Clutch.
Just know that I'm doing that.
Okay. I'm so jealous
Okay.
you get to listen to Clutch.
You could listen to
You
it.
might hate. Yeah, I can listen to Clutch whenever I want.
You can do it
Oh, you
whenever
might
you want.
hate it. No, it doesn't scare me actually because
This we said it a second ago. This could be a week where we both score low.
yeah, it could be.
I think it's got opportunity for high as well, though, both sides.
And that is fine because I love Clutch, but I'm aware they're very Marmite, so I'm never offended when people dislike them. My wife calls them old man rock. It's fine.
Brilliant. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, and this isn't one of your bands, so we're fine.
On that note.